Hi, and welcome to Witchdoctors How To. Today we're going to show you how to rebuild a brake caliper. This happens to be a rear caliper. We'll show you another one on how to do the front, but this is the rear caliper. The one thing you might say, why do I want to rebuild this? Why do I want to take this apart? Well, we offer a powder coating service, our Voodoo powder coating service. We offer, and we need to get the calipers disassembled. We don't do it for you, so you need to do it yourself. So we're going to show you how to do that. The other reason is if you send us your calipers for chroming, same thing, you have to have them disassembled. So it's not hard. The one question everybody worries about is they say Brembo does not make a rebuild kit for the calipers. And to that I would say yes, they don't. I have never found one. I've tried to find it. I've called. They don't offer that. So if you take this apart and you follow what I say and you be careful, you're fine. You won't hurt anything. So let me show you some of the stuff you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is some brake clean. We have a little bucket to spray the part out to clean it. You're going to need a small screwdriver. I call it like a baby screwdriver. And this is just a dental pick. It has a hook on it. We're going to use that to pull the O-rings out that are inside there. And the other thing is just an Allen wrench, a socket, to get one of the mounting bolts out. So what you want to do first is we kind of already sprayed this clean. It's not a real big deal. You don't have to get it perfectly clean because brake fluid will come out. But if you look right here, here and here, those are the pistons. That's what we need to get out. That's the part that's a little bit more difficult. There's O-rings down in there, and that's where people are worried they're going to tear the O-rings. The other thing you have on there is your bleeder screw. This is a little rubber bushing that your pin goes on. When this is mounted on the bike, there's a big bracket. This mounting pin right here, and this is where another pin slides in. So the first thing you want to do is we take this mounting stud out, and it's an Allen. Don't grab it on there with vice grips or anything like that because you're going to screw it up. You want to put an Allen socket in there and just unscrew that out of there. It'll come right out. So that's kind of the first thing. You want to unscrew that. The other thing is this rubber bushing, and what I do is I just kind of get a screwdriver and just kind of get it started. It's not hard, but you just got to be careful. You don't want to tear it. And just trying to work it down. Once you can get it going, see I got it coming right there? Just get it, just kind of jiggle it. You don't want to tear it, just be careful, and it'll come right out, and you don't have to tear it. So you want to set that stuff aside. Now the last thing is these pistons. Now the way you get the pistons out is you put air, and what I like to use, you need an air compressor for this, is a blowgun with a rubber tip. Because what we're going to do is this is where your brake line, your fitting for your hose goes. We're going to put that in there, and when you have a rubber tip, it helps to seal that off. And what the idea is we put air in there. Air acts like brake fluid, and it's going to push these pistons out. That's how we get them out. Now, a warning here, you probably want to wear some safety glasses because these things are going to pop out, and there's brake fluid in there, and if you get hit in the face with the brake fluid, it's going to burn your eyes. So you want to make sure you kind of go easy, and I'll show you, but you want to go easy, and you don't want to just blast those things out because they'll go flying across the garage. The other thing, you want to make sure you leave your bleeder screw in and make sure it's tight. If you don't, when you put the air in, when you take the air and you put the air in, it's all going to blow out of the bleeder screw. So you want to make sure that's tight. So I'll show you. Just hook your nozzle up to the air. And I like to put a couple rags in here. Just simply because when those come out, there's a lot of pressure. You don't want to get your fingers in there. And you want to, kind of do it down. Put that down so it's not going to hit you in the face. You just take some air, and you may hear this pop. There. That's all it takes is that. And you can see how the rag, these are the pistons. The rag held the pistons in from blowing out. You can see how tight it is. They come out of there with a lot of force. Okay? So now, the one thing you want to do is when you reassemble stuff, you want to make sure you keep this piston in this cylinder, in the bore in the cylinder, and you want to keep this one in this bore in the cylinder. All the O-rings, you want to keep everything in the same spot. So what you can do is you can take a piece of paper and just draw some circles on it and say left and right, or make it however you want it to write it down so you understand it. What I normally do is I draw a little picture, and where the bleeder is, I'll draw a picture of the bleeder, and then I'll say bleeder screw side and this piston, and then this piston. So basically, if you can see, you just take your piston, just jiggle it, and it'll come right out. Comes right out. That's all piston is. Now, you want to notice on the top, try to clean it off for you. On the top, it looks different than it does on the bottom. So you know which way's top and bottom, because this is very important. You don't want to mix this stuff up and put it in the wrong way. So we're going to set that one there. We're going to take this one out the same way. Sometimes if they're not pushed out completely all the way, you just have to give it another shot of air with the blowgun, and it'll push them out a little farther. So you can see that's really easy. Now, if you look down in here, and I'll try to show you, you can see this O-ring. This is a black O-ring right here. There's one on this one, and there's one on this one. There's actually a little tiny one up in the top here. Those are what you cannot tear. If you tear those, you're in trouble, because that's what you can't buy. So I take the dental pick and just very carefully just kind of hook it. You can see it coming out. You just have to be really careful. They kind of stick in there a little bit. So you get it kind of pried down, and then you just pull it out real careful. And these are not O-rings you can buy in the hardware store. They're actually square. They're not even round. So this one, we're going to set it down, and it's the top one. And the way I'll set that is it's the top on the top of the piston, so we know where it goes. Do the same thing with the other one. Just kind of get it with that pick and pull it right out. That's the bottom one. And you keep it on that one, so that way you know everything there goes right back in that piston bore. Excuse me, and you're going to do the same on this one. It's kind of stuck. The top one's hard because it's small. There we go. That one popped right out. Do the same thing, put it on the piston. Hook the bottom one. You can see they come right out. This isn't hard at all. So that's basically it. You can see some brake fluid in there, you know, a little bit. Then you want to unscrew your bleeder screw. And that's basically it. Now, you have one little clip down in here. You can just pull it out. You don't want to bend it. Just grab with your little screwdriver and pop that out. So that's basically all you need to do. The last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it in your bucket here and just spray that brake fluid off. Get it all cleaned out. And now your caliper would be ready to send to us to have the powder coating done or the chroming done, whatever you want. But that's all you need to do. The pistons are out. You want to make sure that down in there there's no dirt. When you reassemble it, you just go in the reverse order, and that's all you need to do. So that's how easy it is to take apart a rear caliper on a Victory motorcycle. Thanks for watching.